FSU football's grades versus NC State as Noles drop yet another road game. Tallahassee Democrat Florida State lost to North Carolina State 21-11, extending its away game losing streak to 10. The Seminoles must now defeat the Florida Gators to become eligible for a bowl game. FSU's offense struggled to finish drives, and quarterback Tommy Castellanos threw 2 interceptions. The special teams unit committed 2 costly turnovers on consecutive punt returns in the fourth quarter. Florida State's football program continued to look for any signs of hope. Unfortunately, Friday, November 21, at North Carolina State, failed to offer one. The Seminoles tumbled against the Wolfpack 21-11, dropping their 10th consecutive away or neutral site game, dating back to 2023 at Florida. The loss expects to keep the heat on FSU coach Mike Norvell, whose struggling team must now defeat the Gators Saturday, November 29, to secure bowl eligibility. FSU is 2-2 since FSU VP and Athletic Director Michael Alford gave Norvell a vote of confidence. Need a news break? Check out the all-new Play Hub with puzzles, games, and more. With the win, the Wolfpack improved to 6-5 overall and 3-4 in the ACC, while FSU fell to 5-6 and 2-6. Here's a look at the Seminoles' grades against the Wolfpack. FSU's offense. C- considering FSU hadn't won in Raleigh since 2016, it was important for the Seminoles and quarterback Tommy Castellanos to establish early momentum against one of the conference's worst defenses. In fact, the Wolfpack had outscored the Seminoles 85-17 in the first quarter of the last 9 games in the series. On the flip side, however, the timing appeared perfect for FSU. The Wolfpack had allowed 36 or more points in 4 consecutive games, the first time the program had done that since a 4-game stretch late in the 2013 season. Despite being the ACC's most prolific offense, FSU has been its own worst enemy at times with mistakes and the inability to finish drives. Plus, Castellanos has struggled mightily with his passing mechanics and connecting with open receivers on deep passes. Get the Gator Sports Weekly newsletter in your inbox. In-depth coverage of University of Florida Gators sports delivery. Varies your email. All those trends continued, even as the outcome remained in the balance until late in the game. Castellanos completed 16 of 32 passes for 203 yards with a touchdown and 2 interceptions, one on the meaningless last play of the game. He was the team's leading rusher with 76 yards on 11 carries. FSU also outgained its opponent this season for the 10th time, 383-286. Castellanos had FSU positioned to potentially strike early in the first quarter from the state 34. However, the pressured quarterback sailed an errant pass over the middle that was intercepted. The Wolfpack responded with long scoring march and led 7-0 after the first quarter and 7-3 at the half. The Seminoles' first half drives were like a football smorgasbord. Interception, field goal, missed field goal, punt. The second half wasn't much better. FSU ran just 12 plays in the third quarter, with 2 drives ending in a punt, and held on downs. Finally, Castellanos and receiver Duce Robinson, who eclipsed 1,000 receiving yards on the season, connected for the first time in the game to open the fourth quarter. That drive ended with a Castellanos-Robinson touchdown pass, followed by a 2-point conversion to Javan Boggs that pulled FSU within a field goal. However, the offense never got another opportunity to win the game as State scored a late touchdown following a pair of FSU turnovers off Wolfpack punts. State's defense was led by linebacker Cade Fordham, the son of former FSU offensive lineman Todd Fordham. Cade entered as the leader of all Power 4 players in tackles with 10.3 per game, the top mark in the ACC. He had 13 tackles late in the third quarter and finished with 15. FSU's defense, C- prior to being blitzed 41-7 at Miami last week, the Wolfpack had been number 2 in total offense in ACC games at 454 yards per game. The Seminoles held their own in the first half, limiting the home team to a touchdown. However, they had issues with slowing the Wolfpack in the second half, specifically in the third quarter, and with the game on the line in the final minutes. NC State extended its advantage to 14-3 by virtue of marathon 15-play drive that covered 79 yards and chewed 8:59 off the clock. the Wolfpack converted a pair of third downs and one fourth down. After FSU's special teams went haywire in the fourth quarter, muffing consecutive NC State punts, the Seminoles were unable to keep the Wolfpack out of the end zone. State sealed the game with a touchdown pass on 4th and 6 from the FSU 12 with 1:47 left. Wolfpack quarterback C.J. Bailey completed 18 of 25 passes for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns. State converted 7 of 16 third downs and 2 of 2 fourth downs. FSU special teams, F. The unit's performance could probably be described by one word: chaos. Kicker Jake Weinberg made 1 of 3 field goals. In the fourth quarter, FSU muffed consecutive NC State punts with the game's outcome still undecided. First, State's short punt bounced off blocker K.J. Kirkland's helmet and rolled back 25 yards upfield, allowing the Wolfpack to recover the ball near its line of scrimmage. FSU's defense held and forced another punt, but Squirrel White muffed it, and State recovered at the Seminoles' 14-yard line. The home team sealed with win with a touchdown pass on 4th down.